What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darian. I'm the BowTie fragrance guy. On this channel we talk about fragrances, of course, but we also talk about fashion, style, grooming. I want to make sure that I do my part to ensure that you guys are going out there every day and you are looking your best and smelling your best. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would like for you to hit subscribe, and don't forget to enable notifications by hitting the bell icon as well, so that way anytime a new video is uploaded, you'll get notified. On today's video, guys, we're going to be jumping into, in my opinion, 5 must-have fragrances from the house of Argos. I absolutely love these fragrances. I have probably about 12 of them in my collection, and honestly, all 12 of them are really, really good. So you really can't go wrong either way, regardless what your style of fragrance is, what you may choose as a fragrance if you've never had any from this brand to kind of start you off. But in my opinion, if you rock with my style, my taste, I'm going to tell you about the 5, my top 5 that I feel like, again, are the absolute must-haves from the house. So we're going to run the intro, and when we come back, we're going to get into it. And by the way, I have a brand new, actually it hadn't been released yet, new fragrance from Argos that is on this list. Guys, it's just phenomenal. I'm going to tell you all about it. So I'm going to run the intro, and when we come back, we'll get into it. So if you want to hear my thoughts, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The BowTie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into the video. So there are 5, again, in my opinion, must-have fragrances from Argos. And I'm going to talk about, this is kind of an exclusive. There may be a few other people that have this, I don't know. But this fragrance hasn't been released yet. It will actually be released on September 1st to the general public. I have my hands on a bottle of the newest fragrance from Argos. And guys, I will tell you right now, it's up there with some of my absolute favorites so far from this brand. The new fragrance is called Sacred Flame. Check out the box. Sacred Flame. Beautiful fragrance. Spoke a little bit with Christian, who is the creator of Argos, and told me a little bit about the fragrance. Let me show you the bottle, man. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. This is the bottle. Again, Sacred Flames. Argos, with this brand, one thing I love about Christian, he does not slack on presentation. And I am huge on presentation. There's the insignia of the brand. Argos, you have your name on the back, inscripted on the bottle. Actually, Christian Petrovic has his name on the back as well. This is just attention to detail, man. I absolutely love this stuff. The presentation is absolutely next level. For you guys that have been a fan of the channel for a while, you know that I've talked about the brand before, and there are, again, several fragrances that I adore from Argos, but my 2 favorites up until this point have been Danaë and Adonis Awakens. Those I would go back and forth between which was my favorite, which was number 1, which was number 2. This has now entered the conversation, I must say. Sacred Flame. Some of the notes in this, I had a chance to inquire about some of the notes in this, and these are some of the notes once I got the note breakdown that stood out to me. When I first smelled it, I was, very drawn in by the beautiful, sweet, citrusy, fruity opening, and that's coming from, in my opinion, the tangerine and the peach. I think he used peach in another fragrance. I think it was Triumph of Bacchus, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be reminiscent of that same kind of peach accord that he used in Triumph of Bacchus. And I love peach in fragrances. I wish people would use more peach notes in fragrances, honestly, because I just love it. It's not an overly sweet note, but it gives just the right amount of that fruity sexiness in the opening of the fragrance, and I absolutely adore it. When it starts to dry down, you get some rose in here, cinnamon, of course, one of my absolute favorite spices, and then the dry down is all of the stuff I love in fragrances, and that's why I think I love this fragrance so much. You have an amber accord in here, some sandalwood, some vanilla. This thing is amazing. There's a smoky vetiver on the base as well. Absolute home run when it becomes available. And if it becomes available before September 1st, you guys will be the first to know about it. But guys, listen, when it drops, I'm going to remind you about it because this is an absolute must-have from Argos. The newest one, again, unreleased, be released soon. September 1st is the anticipated release date. But you guys are going to have to get your hands on Sacred Flame. It is released, in my opinion, at the perfect time because it is an amazing, in my opinion. It will be perfect for the fall season and definitely winter. So it'll be perfect timing for the release. But this is the latest addition to the Argos family of fragrances, and it is an absolute stunner. So Sacred Flames is one that you're going to have to add to your collection if you're an Argos fragrance lover. You love fragrances from the brand, but you won't be able to get in until September 1st. And of course, I just mentioned this next fragrance, and it has been for a while one of my favorites. This is Adonis Awakens. Adonis Awakens, love this bottle, man. Love the presentation on this fragrance. What you get with Adonis Awakens, of course, grapefruit, rose, raspberry. There's some vanilla in this as well, and sandalwood. Oh man, so stunning. Again, it's really hard to beat this one. I know I just talked very glowingly about Sacred Flame, and it is an amazing fragrance, especially the dry down, man. Just, again, next level perfumery in my opinion. But this is so good. Every time I come back to this, I'm reminded of how good it is. You know, that raspberry in here, you know, that sweetness and the creaminess from the sandalwood. Again, just absolute next level stuff right here. So if you don't have this one, make sure you get it, man. Adonis Awakens, one of my favorites. Probably my favorite still from the brand. So make sure you check that one out. Now guys, before I go to the next fragrance, I do want to remind you that one of the things that I love about shopping from Argos is when you go on the website, there's an opportunity to use Shop Pay. I like to mention this to people because I know a lot of people are very, conscious as it comes to paying for fragrances and being able to save money, be as efficient with it as you can. And the fragrances, actually, these 3.4 ounce bottles range from around that $245 price point. New Triumph of Bacchus Extrait is actually about $345, but they kind of fall in that range, $245, $290, $345. So being able to use Shop Pay and pay potentially in installments, I think is something that, I like to mention to folks just in case, you look at it and say, hey, I don't want to spend that much money at one time. Hey, maybe break it up into 4 payments or something like that. I think that's a good way to go about it. All right, so the next fragrance, again, I think these first 3 that I've talked about are now my favorite 3. This one I go back and forth with this, Adonis Awakens, and now we got to throw Sacred Flame into the fire. No pun intended. But Danaë, one of my favorites, man. This is a stunning fragrance. I always say, look at that juice color, man. This stuff is just, look at it, man. Love this stuff. What you get with Danaë is lemon, cedarwood, patchouli, sandalwood. There's some cashmere wood in here as well. Oh my gosh, this is so good, guys. You talk about an amazing, date night fragrance for cooler temperatures. You gotta get your nose on this stuff, man. Again, the juice color kind of tells it all. And for you guys that love those dark ambery fragrances, this is one that you would absolutely love. The cashmere wood in here gives this very warm, inviting woody essence to the fragrance. Of course, the sandalwood makes it creamy. Stuff is just absolutely fantastic, man. So if you don't have this one, guys, I promise you these first 3, honestly, not just the first 3, but all 5 I'm going to talk about, I highly recommend them. And I feel very comfortable recommending these fragrances that you guys will probably really find them to be as good as I do. So check this one out as well if you don't have it. This one is called Danaë. All right, so the 4th fragrance that I highly recommend you guys pick up is called Fall of Phaeton. Now, this one was actually came in a batch that was released previously for this newest batch, and I love this stuff. It's cardamom, labdanum, lavender, tonka bean, and leather. Oh, this is so good. This was released when Love Triumphs Over War was released as well. And I went back and forth between that one and this one for, I would say, the 5th fragrance that I would highly recommend from Argos. And this is just a little bit more, my speed as it pertains to what normally like in fragrances. Triumph of Bacchus, not Triumph of Bacchus, Love Triumphs of a War is an amazing fragrance as well. That's a little bit more on the fresher side. It's good, but this one beat it out a little bit for me. So another one that I highly recommend is this one. Guys, get your nose on it. One of the last fragrances to be released in the last batch of fragrances that they came out with. Check it out, Fall of Phaeton. It's amazing. And I saved this one for last because I felt that you guys will probably anticipate this one being on the list. But I went with the extrait version, higher oil concentration. This is Triumph of Bacchus, the extrait version. Triumph of Bacchus, the extrait version. Rum, peach, apple, tonka bean, and tobacco. Every single note that I love in fragrances is in this fragrance. And, you know, again, that in itself was enough for me. I knew when I read the notes that I would love this fragrance, and I was not disappointed. Again, there is the original Triumph of Bacchus. This is the extrait. This is 40% oil concentration. And of course, it gives it a little bit more lasting power. It's not like the original had any issues with performance, but of course, it doesn't hurt to get some additional oil in there and of course, make it last a little bit longer. But this, guys, is an amazing tobacco fragrance. Love that peach apple opening. Very inviting. And definitely, if you don't have Triumph of Bacchus, what are you waiting for? You definitely need to add this to your collection. So check it out. The fifth fragrance that I would say is a must-have from Argos is Triumph of Bacchus. Either the original or the extrait, either one works, in my opinion. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today as I gave you 5 must-have fragrances from the brand of Argos. As always, I sincerely appreciate your time and your attention to these videos. You don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian. I'm the BowTie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.